restoring the monarchy to its rightful owners because the monarchy has been hijacked in front of everybody. This is illegal George VI in 1939, the year I was born. That's Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor. If you get into this, they are such a crooked bunch. This is Roosevelt's mother, and this is Elizabeth's mother, who's part of the Rothschilds, and my kidnapping. Her husband, they were planning my kidnapping here in 39. I was kidnapped in 41. Let me remind you, my father, Edward VIII, never married Wallace Simpson. She married a double, an imposter. There was more than one imposter. And the bad behavior they deliberately went out and done, like riding a tricycle with nothing but a Union Jack diaper on, was attributed to my father doing it. Total lie, these were. So they took my father down with character assassination. All these years later, after I found out about what had happened to my dad, he had integrity. He wouldn't follow the orders of the Illuminati, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedys, and some of my own family, especially George and Elizabeth. His daughter is not the monarch at all. It's an illegal monarchy. Hijacked, stolen, because, quite frankly, my dad had integrity, not like the videos and the press tell, because it's controlled by the very people that kidnapped me and took down my father with character assassination. My father was always married to, I'm going to go over here, Georgia O'Keeffe's sister, Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, was queen in 1936. Isn't it something that my mother's name has been deleted? And I have to, even though Georgia's a beautiful, beautiful lady, but my mom in her own right, I have to introduce you so you know who I'm talking about, hopefully. She was Queen of England, married to my father. He never married Wallace Simpson. It was all a lie concocted by the global government that's in place now, the Illuminati, Freemasons. You can call them what you want to. They're mafia. They're all the same. So Elizabeth has always known about my father married my mom, her being queen. Elizabeth was 15 when I was kidnapped. And she knew all about my birth and who I am all along. And this man has Caroline Kennedy, JFK's daughter, who's he appointed ambassador to Japan. For God's sake, has Japan forgotten who took them down and bombed them? They're all sitting in the United Nations. That all came to be. The illegal treaties allowed the United States to come in and take over UK. Thus, they've got bases underneath the UK, all over everything British, in Australia, Area 51, etc., all over the place. Nobody asks the question, what's the United States bases doing all over Germany, in every country in the world, I assume. Anyway, JFK, her father, helped in my kidnapping. Elizabeth's illegal. She's lived very well with her crime. Look at all of them. Supported by the Brits and by what's mine. I want to get back to this. If you look under the descendants of King George V and Queen Mary, by the way, Mary, my grandmother, as far as I know, was part of removing her own son. She didn't want my mother, who was a school teacher, American, to be the queen. So you got Sir Winston Churchill, burned the Windsor Files, my birth, my father's marriage, all of it. He was friends of Roosevelt, a Jew, the president, and Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all of them. He placed illegal, he placed the Kennedys' dad, Joe, as ambassador to England, 36 to 46 when he was kicked out. Listen to the dates when my father became king in 36, and my grandfather died. Looking back at some of the deaths, knowing what I know now, I wonder what really killed King George V, my grandfather. Supposedly, according to history, he and Mary didn't approve of the the Illuminati. That's not. I don't know if that's true. It may be, and it's wrong. So wrong. My own grandmother didn't care, but the fact is my father wouldn't take orders from the Illuminati. He had integrity, quite different than you see told in the press today when they bring up my father marrying Wallace Simpson, a lie. I want to show you this. So my father has been defamed, and they've removed me. You don't see me here. You see Edward, Duke of Windsor, King Edward VIII, marrying Wallace Simpson. A friggin' lie. And it doesn't mention my dad really married to my mom, and I was born in 1939 and kidnapped in 41. It will go on the next page and show Elizabeth. Nobody's bothered to change it all these years. It's quite all right with everybody. What if they stole it from you and tortured you all your life? Here is a picture of me. This is Matthew. He was in the service later. This is after I was kidnapped and brought there. I guess I don't have that picture. I must have been, I don't know, when he came in one night, he had joined the service. He came in screaming, they fed her to the pigs, they fed her to the pigs, but you fed her to the pigs. He was talking to Lina Dempsey, who was mother of the twins. This is me when they brought me there. It's a rooster back there. It was a pigsty dump site. And JFK was one that flew in there and stayed in the embassy with his dad. He and Joe, the older one, who later died, I believe. Well, I know he did. And they helped him in kidnapping, bringing me to Moulton, give me the name of a twin, Peggy, who was, actually, I found out she was fed to the pigs about a week or 2 weeks before I was brought there. But he was in the service and came in screaming that night. I really can't remember. I think it was after he was in the service. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is me in high school, and that's that family. This is my dad again. And this is, I'm just going to pile this up here. This is Diana, who, William, and everybody's going to get mad at me. This is the oddest thing. If there's ever a judgment day in this and the truth spread out before the world, it's totally a flip from what, unless it's okay with everybody to steal and kill and murder. It's so odd. Here she is, Diana. She's always known about me. She was told not to speak of me if the press asked her. So she's gone along with it, spending my money and having her sons in line supposedly for the monarchy. William would be king, and then George, his son, etc., which is lies. And again, I'm going to show you Wallace, that married the double American spy. Here she is, shaking hands in 1941 after they had kidnapped me in October and delivered me to Moulton, Alabama. That's her, the two of them shaking hands. Eleanor is Roosevelt's wife back over here. They helped plan my kidnapping and the whole thing. Character assassination. Wallace marrying a double, becoming the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. I think I've showed you most of what I was going to show you. Let me see. I did want to mention this. And this was U.S. Marshal gave me this. I haven't seen him, excuse me, in a while. There's a bunch of other papers here. I'll just show you this one because it's so hideous. He brought this to me, and it was 1/30 of 2003. And it's from the Daily Mail, I guess, yeah, newspaper source, Wallace. They opened some of the files, supposedly on my father, but it's really the illegal Duke and Duchess of Windsor, Wallace and the double. And they were supposed to stay sealed for 100 years, I believe, but they got them open. You should see the lies that is so preposterous. It really angers you. They made up lie after lie after lie, and it's a whole list of it. It's so ridiculous. You can't even believe it. That people would fall for it and hear me trying. Well, you have to see what they've done to me, too. I guess I'll turn this around because I want to get to the next subject. These people have all lived good. Elizabeth, all of them. So long as you wear the crown and you have the money and the power, it doesn't give a rat's. You know what I mean? You know, people will look at, if I said rat's ass, they'll say, ooh, you're unfit to be the queen. I am the queen. Like it or not, that's who I am. I'm honest. I'm kind to the point where I have to put a lid on it some, especially after I've found out what people have done to me and mine and my country. They've stolen it from me. And if I went home today, you know, I wonder if I'd be welcome. I know that I was welcome up until about 10, 15 years ago. The Brits came after me. They really did. The Aussies, you know, they probably don't even know who I am. And it's been such a blitz with the press controlled by the Illuminati. And she's a high-ranking member, Elizabeth is. Well, that's the reason they you had the Illuminati picking out who's going to be the monarch, the one that sold his soul, if he ever had one. That's George VI, illegal, Elizabeth's father. Now I want to jump to this again. There was someone mentioned something to me in 2010, and I couldn't complete it. All this has been like a puzzle putting it together. I couldn't complete it until Meghan and Harry hooked up. And it doesn't just have to do with her being, her father being, and I think he brought Meghan with him to work on Married with Children with Peggy Bundy. And that's Bundy. That's her name on the program. There's a lot more to that whole family if you get into it, how it fits into a puzzle. The fact that the Americans, I was watching the other night, you'd have to see what they've done to me. And I'm talking about suffering, torture. To me and my children, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me, it's like this ongoing, how much hell and crimes can you commit against one family and get away with it? Thus, the FBI letter, June the 23rd, my father's birthday of 1979. My father, of course, was born earlier. Ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, if they tell about me and all of this, which everybody says tell the truth until it's the United States and part of my own family that's crooked, why, then you're supposed to seal it and shut it up, put seals on it. Anyway, if you could see here and compare the truth, which has been deleted by your controlled press, by the Illuminati. All these years, they knew all this way back then. So that I was kidnapped. I'm 79 years old now. So I was kidnapped 77 years ago. All the crimes have been committed against my children and me, papers to prove it. And it's ongoing. So that must have been the ongoing investigation. And I'm going to say this, I might not have been alive, though, if it had not been for the FBI. It's the people that have approved the crime, and how dare you mention to an American what they've done, the crimes they committed. Oh, they will go after you hook, line, and sinker. And say, I don't care. And let me quantify this or qualify it. There have been some, but as a 99%, they'll get you. As long as let's say somebody from the UK comes over here and oh, they're kissing up to the Americans or they're being nice. They never mention that the United States kidnapped, took down their monarch, invaded the UK, made us fight against ourselves. And if you look, where's the colonies? Oh, the Americans have attached it. We somehow the Marshall Plan, we owe them. I'll quote Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who was a lovely lady, when she said, "Oh, they gave us the Marshall Plan," so that we have to pay them for invading us, kidnapping the monarch, getting money in Space Center. As part of that, in Huntsville, Alabama, they took me to Moulton. Werner von Braun was brought over here. Who do you think built your space program? And then Kennedy, it kidnapped me and helped take down my dad. The name of Cape Canaveral was changed to Kennedy. And Kennedy helped murder Marilyn Monroe. Well, what's all the other that went on? He's mafia. He's global government, part of kidnapping me, and his dad helped in it, the Rockefellers, Rothschild. And he's committed so many crimes the Kennedys did, and people love him. Look what they did, and Kennedy helped in it to my father, who was not guilty of any of those ugly things, the character assassination that took him down. It's unbelievable that people, they've allowed it to happen. So I'm looking to see if I have any time left on here. I know that I've put up a lot, but now then the press, by the way, I was told what I later know was that Harry was going to marry Meghan. I didn't know her name was Meghan. I knew that she would be biracial. I didn't know if it was biracial or she was really black lady. When they quantify me, they don't say anything like that. I don't have any respect, but I have to watch it, every word I say. And nobody's ever, unless this is laid out now and the truth told, tell about Martin Luther King partnering with the Kennedys. And the whole point was to take down the UK, the British, and take over South Africa. Now then, they've got Meghan, and she's already out taking pictures. They're doing a good promo shot, getting all this hype for her and for Harry and all this hell-bent on if I should come in, the real one. And it's only if they tell the truth and compare what they've done to me and mine, my mom and dad, and show the rotten people that are sitting in the monarchy pretending to be. And I will say this, and I don't mean, I know people come after me. They say tell the truth, and then they tell you, oh, hell no, don't, if it's involving me. The part of the monarchy, some of them help keep me alive. I know that, and I know one of them's name, and I've hesitated to put it up. I did. He's probably dead and gone a long time ago. I hope that there's a God, and he's there with him. Everybody's up there with God. This man deserves to be there, and his family. There's part of the monarchy that sit there, and it doesn't matter what Elizabeth has done. I was shocked, and I'm going to put it up, when I thought he was halfway decent. You can't serve two people, the liar and the cheat, and the person that the monarchy belongs to is a kind, loving, caring person, and had all these horrific crimes done to me and my children, my parents, my country. You can't serve the devil and a good person too. It just don't go together. So I don't know how this turns out. Right now I'm losing my hearing again because I'm run from one place to the other, kept penniless. If I died tomorrow, a pauper, I'd be, how would I be buried? As Peggy Dempsey Childers? Or I certainly don't want to be cremated, lost in a land that kidnapped me. And not a word of truth would ever be told. And the monarchy would be damaged forever. You would never